Coming from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Hi, everyone. Welcome to It's Me Time podcast with Marie-Ève. I am your life coach. If you don't have one yet, please go to my website and we'll go book your first appointment and we'll have lots of fun. And we're going to have lots of fun in seeing your past stories quickly and just to see what your emotional, negative emotions that are still in your life affecting you, what's still there. Oh my God, that was awful of an introduction. My apology on that one. A lot of things wanted to come out. I am Marie-Ève. I'm your mindset and self-love life coach. I will love myself and think I'm doing great. Anyway, I'm always doing great. If it came out that way, you guys needed to hear it that way. So today I am going to be talking again on some of the comments I receive on TikTok because I teach self-love, right, and mindset. I do enjoy some of the, not that I enjoy being hated on, but again, it's always just a matter of perspective. So I do have the belief that people who comment, that it's love or hatred, are still just comments. They're commenters. No, they're not haters, they're commenters. And they're as deserving of love as anyone else. Because at the same time, I'm giving myself love through those comments and counteracting them. So just before, I know I still love to share my life with you guys. And I had a story a couple weeks ago, man. I will still share some of the things that are happening in my life. And in my kitchen, there was some sort of weird smell. And I didn't know what it was. It was my pantry. And I think the last time that it smelled like that, it was like a dead mouse. And so I was looking for the trap with the dead mouse. I can't find the traps. I'm like, oh man, did it fall behind the wall? Because there's a kind of a hole between the pantry and the bathtub. Anyway, so I'm like, I'm not going in there. But it kind of smelled weird. And one night I was in bed. And when everything is about energy and you're a match to living an experience, there's nothing you can do. You will live it for sure. And so I was in bed sleeping. It was like 2 a.m. And then my dog, like, he wants me to bring him outside. As soon as he wakes up in the middle of the night, I go put him outside. And I was like, no, go pee on the floor. I value my sleep more than you peeing outside. So go, I don't care about my floor. Go pee on the floor as you normally do. So why would it be different today? And at one point, like, he was not stopping, and I'm like, screw it. I'm gonna get up. I'm already awake. Let's just put him outside. I open the door and I go sit down for a minute, and I'm hearing and like, oh my God. And I go, it's dark, and I hear my dog running outside in the backyard. And I'm like, oh crap. There was a skunk in my backyard. And I'm like, Prince Philip, that's the name of my dog, Prince Philip. Come back here right now. Come back. Come on. I was like, come on. I'm like, please, God, no. Anyway, and he came back. And I took him out, like, it's time to go to bed. And I like just put my nose near him. Like, oh gosh. He got sprayed. That was so gross. Oh my God. Have you ever, like, we can smell skunk, on the road. They smell pretty damn gross. Oh, blah. It was disgusting. So like, it was 2 a.m. I was tired, right? So I just go put my dog in the bathroom, like throw him almost in the bathroom and close the door. I'm like, I'm going to deal with that in the morning. And I kind of smell my hands. And I'm like, oh shit, I can't deal with that just in the morning. I really, really have to deal with that now because I smell like skunk. Because I took my dog in my arms. Oh, I just, like, the smell was just so, oh my God, like, it's this, I just remember, I still have some some of my towels. I put one in the garbage today because as soon as it gets wet, it kind of reactivates the smell. Oh, and I was like, the stores are closed. What am I doing with that, right? Well, it smelled like skunk in my house for the next 3 days. I wanted the smell of whatever was in my pantry out. It was not an issue for the next 2-3 days. Let me tell you that. And after that, it didn't smell much anymore. But so for those who have that experience, I will share to you what I did that could maybe help you out. Because, they say tomato juice, but I didn't have tomato juice. I went online. Thank you, Google. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you to everyone who are sharing their tips, their lifestyle tips on how they came out of an experience, right? because I got to find like, oh, I needed soda, and like not pop, but like baking soda with vinegar and dish soap. Oh no, actually it was not vinegar, sorry. Peroxide, hydrogen peroxide, dish soap, and baking soda. Made a little paste, like made a shampoo my dog twice with that, let it work. He was fine. My dog didn't smell much more after. I still left him in the bathroom, but the bathroom was smelling. And what they say, like put bowls of vinegar everywhere in the house. And so that's what I did. And like the next day was a lot better. And like, after 3 days, the smell was gone, but still, it was disgusting. Oh my God, it was so gross. Like, well, I don't have the mouse smell anymore. But anyway, it was just a little story I wanted to share with you. How I'm like, how did I create this? But just to say how much I was a match, I don't know why I wasn't matched to this experience, but really, I was in bed and Julia would be like, just sleep. And I like the universe called me up to get up, open the door for my dog, and he just took off, right? So there was something that needed to happen for myself. And like, how is this happening for me? Right? Because everything happens for our own good. Everything that's happening is getting us closer to the next step in our life for the next thing, right? It's like, how did that? Because if that happened, there was no other way it was going to happen, right? It had to happen. And anyway, so since then, now my dog, if I go in the middle of the night, I will attach him in the front. But anyway, so that was a little something. And also last week 2 weeks ago was back to school. My girls, they started school on the 25th and 26th, and they had half days. And I'm sending them to private school. That was my dream as a kid, to go to private school. And so in my dream lifestyle, don't know, I'm making it happen. I don't know how. I'm making it happen. They're going to this school and they take the bus every morning, which is fun. They're having a lot of fun with their driver. And there was tears. I did not expect to have tears like that on the first. I'm like super excited. It's not like it's the first time they leave the house. My oldest, she started school like 2 years ago. My other daughter, she was going to pre-K, like she was going into a daycare. So it's not like she was always home. But when I brought them at school, the first day of school for my kindergartner, they had the music teacher playing saxophone, and all the kids had instruments, and it was so much fun to send her to school. Like, I made a good choice. It's like such a loving environment, so creative. And what I did not anticipate, right? Because there's somebody, like I did write a post also on TikTok that says you cannot live grief. What did she say? You can't grieve what has not happened yet. And I was told that in a support group once. You can't grieve what hasn't happened yet. And I was like, well, that sounds stupid. Like, that sounds weird, right? But no. And what that meant is, right, she started school, and on that day, I was like a single parent. I'm a single parent, bring my kids to school. There was a guy with an AutoCAD shirt. Like, I'm like trying to read what the shirt was saying, like, and at the end, the last word was AutoCAD. And my husband was a mining engineer who used to work in mining. And so AutoCAD was one of the programs, the software he used a lot. So, I heard AutoCAD for a long time. And what came out of my mind was like, oh my God, my husband is here with me. He's here with my daughter on their first day of school. And now, like, I want to bawl my eyes out. Like, even now I'm seeing it, I'm like, oh man, this, like, so much love. And like, I feel like, because I did write a book at one point before he passed away. And it was like, Daddy will always be there on the first day of school on this. And one of my friends, I told her that the picture I wanted was just like kind of a ghost. So even like if he's going to be there the first day, she has a tournament or something and he's in the background, right? And it's so like touching and heartwarming. But like to see that AutoCAD shirt, I'm like, oh my God, he's here with us. And like, of course he's here with you. And it was just like crying. I was holding on my tears until, I got in the car, and then I just bawled. I just bawled. But yeah, so I was not expecting to cry to bring her to school, right? But my sensitive self, she decided she was going to cry. And it was just a beautiful moment because I'm like, oh my God, both my kids are in school now. We're not going backward. I don't have babies anymore. And it's just right when school is done, they're gonna be, once all school is done, they're out of their house almost. So right, it's just kind of starting the life cycle. That's the next steps. And I was already grieving a lot, thinking, but they're gonna leave. When are they gonna bring them to college and university? And then they're gonna leave my house. And right, I was already crying for a future. It hasn't happened yet. But it just, you can't grieve what you haven't lived on yet. The day they're gonna get married, I don't know how I'm gonna feel. It's gonna be beautiful, so obviously I'm gonna cry because it's gonna be so beautiful, and I cry every time my heart is open. But also, I don't know how. Right, I do have videos of the girls doing their father-daughter dance for their, with Eric, when they were babies. Like, he actually went and picked up dresses for the girls, little white dresses. He dressed them up, and we put songs, and he danced with them. And I still have those videos. And once they're in that time, like, they will have it. And if they want to play at their wedding, they will still like oh they will still get the chance to, whoever's going to be in their life, have their first dance with their physical dad or stepdad. But also, like, they're gonna have the chance to, like, if they want to honor where they're from, they also have that chance to do so. And like, I can't grieve that yet. I can't grieve what I think I'm gonna feel, but I can't grieve it because it gets like 20, 30 years from now, if ever, right? So everything that you've imagined in your life to live with that person, you can imagine it, but when you're actually going to be in the now, you don't know how it's going to actually feel. So, and one thing I told that lady is like, how grief is just love that's looking for ways to be expressed, right? If every day I used to say, oh, I love you, and showing how I love my man, and now I can't do that anymore, well, that love that was for him has nowhere to go other than words. And so now I'm seeing like grief is not something, because the lady who had commented on that, she was saying how oh, that's why grief is such a long process. But actually, instead of seeing it as a process, is just grief is an emotion that comes and goes, just like sadness, just like happiness, just like any emotions. And we have to sit now as a friend, and the way we can transmute grief and instead of saying, oh man, it's like the process to get rid of, which for me, I was like, I want to be done my grief. I want to be the perfect healer, the perfect griever, and be like, I'm done. It's all good, right? I'm done. But I can't. And like, are you kidding me? I'm gonna grieve the rest of my life. Like, it kind of sucks as a concept. But if I say like, every time I'm gonna have that feeling of grief, it just will be a reminder of how loving I am, how much loved I was, because you don't grieve something that you didn't love, right? If you grieve, you love something, you love someone. So just a reminder of how much I was loved then, how much I loved, how much fun I had, right? Instead of seeing as a burden, grief as a burden, I can focus and seeing how when I live those moments of grief, it was so much love. That was something that I was able to start thinking in a different way. Yeah. And so one thing also, right? They say if you have relationship triggers, like for me, like there was a lot of trauma relationship wise with this, even with people in my family, but you can't release those triggers unless you go in a relationship, right? You can heal a lot of shit on your own, but anything that has to do with other people and trusting others, you can't heal this unless you actually go and start trusting someone else, right? And so I'm chatting with one of really great friend here. We're still just friend at the moment, but on TikTok, and it triggers a lot, like a lot, and it's a good thing. Like this is why I keep going, because I know, like, it's just I need to be able to trust other people, and every time like my heart opens a little more, there's more that gets released. And I know you guys who are on the radio can't see it, but imagine my hands right now like are closed. This is your heart, okay? And when you're holding on and you have your boundaries and you have your, like, I'm guarding my heart and everything. Well, if you keep it, all the pain is still in and you can't have more love in, right? So the pain is actually filling it up. But as you start opening it, and it's scary, it's scary as shit. I'll be honest. Like, but all the fears are coming up of abandonment, of rejection, of fear of being judged, anything. They come out. But as you open up your heart a little bit and start trusting a little more and a little more. And you guys can actually see it if you are on YouTube. As you open up and you're receiving, you're allowing love to come in a little bit, but there's holes. So if love can come in, that means pain can come out. And so this is why your brain will not allow you to go like this and open up everything at once, because that would be way too much, right? So by going a little bit at a time, your brain feels safe in the little love it's getting, and it feels safe in releasing some of the pain from the past, right? It feels safe in doing so. And as you open up more, and then you reassess and open up more, reassess, and you feel, then your heart will be able to be fully open. But it's a process, and you can't do that by yourself. You can't think, yeah, and then you say, yeah, I'm healing by myself, all of this, but then you're like, oh my God, everything's being triggered, right? It's not talking to me. It gets triggered stuff. But then it's learning to assess, oh, I have needs too. Oh, wait, I have needs too. It's okay. And then it's getting that conversation and discussion. So all of you are afraid of going into relationship and you just stay in the talking mode. That's their fear of being hurt again. Because, oh, well, it happened in the past. Yeah, but you're a different person now. And you're meeting different people. And people treat you the way you treat yourself, right? So as I'm treating myself, like, would I treat myself that way? No. Okay, well then what's going to be mirrored? That I'm being treated this way. Okay, right? When I go with the relationship with me and my inner being first, how would I treat myself? If I knew me, which I do, how would I treat myself? And then I do the same thing, but in giving that chance to the other person, right? To be that mirror, because that's all they are. People are a mirror. They are who they are, but the part that we attract from them is a mirror of ourselves. So if I see the best in me, I attract the best in other people. But just, you can't. So if you're healing grief and you don't want to go in a relationship, well, you won't be able to heal everything that comes up about a relationship, because a relationship takes two people. You can do it with yourself and your higher self, but again, it's going to be reflected outside and outward. So as you can see, okay, I still have not healed this with my inner self, right? And just go back within. But also it's good to open up to something new, because it gets tiring at one point to just deal with everything by yourself, right? We were born to deal with other people and to trust. And for me, it was like, I can do it all by myself. I can get money myself. I can work. I can take care of my kids, can do it all myself. And that was my pride, like my sticker. Yes, I'm independent, fully independent. And now that's the masculine energy of providing and safety and all, which is fine. Like that's where I was, that's where I am, and I'm not judging it. But now as I'm learning to be more in the feminine receiving energy, as much as I want to achieve, now my achievement is letting others do for me without me getting into it, right? Like I'm going to do it myself, but the only reason I want to do it myself is because I don't trust you can do it as good as I can, right? But again, that's me not trusting the universe. That's sending me the right people, right? So for me, at this point, it's not even about doing it myself, because I know I can do it myself. I've done it by myself for a long time. But now my actual goal is to work on allowing others to do for me, which is hard. Like you're like, oh my God, yeah, you're letting everyone do for you. Like, oh my God, like she thinks she's a queen. Actually, it's super hard to let other people do for me. It really is. This is my challenge. As much as I would love to just be like, yeah, just do everything. Come and do my dishes. I'm like, they don't do the dishes properly. They don't do this. Like they don't do it how I do it. So it's a lot, but at the same time, it's just I'm enjoying the challenge of giving up control on how things are done. Because in a way, if I believe and trust the universe is giving me what I need and everything gets done, and now I have to be proud of, oh, I allowed someone to do it their way. And I didn't. Why is it perfect? Because I didn't do it. Right? At one point, like, this is done, like, not well done, but it's still done. And like, how is this perfect? I did not do anything, and it still got done. Right? It's like inside of me, I'm like cringing, like, but in seeing that I didn't do it, it's to give myself some self-love. And I let someone take care of that for me. Win. That's a new win for me, right? It's getting people involved as well. People want to be involved. They want to be involved. And by me saying I can do it myself, I am not giving that chance to others to show off their own skills, right? I'm actually stopping people from being their best self. Anyway, so I'd have a couple more things I want to share, a couple more comments that I got on TikTok, and a couple comments I want to share because there's stuff that I know a lot of you might need, maybe not a lot of you might need, but it's always nice to hear what people think of me. It's all bad, but I know you guys think I'm awesome. And even if you don't, I think I'm good. Like I can give myself that awesomeness sticker. But yeah, but just if you hear these comments for yourself or for others, you actually have a tool and something that you can actually tell them, right? To help your person or to help someone feel better in their self-esteem and their confidence. And so I had people saying, "Oh, I feel bad for your kids that they have you as a mom," right? Because no, what you did was so awful. And I'm like, I cannot hate on these people. I used to think the same thing. I used to feel bad for my kids for having me as their mom, even if I'm awesome. Like I used to feel bad because I was like, but yeah, I'm this person here. I'm awful. I was trying for my kids not be like me, even though I'm awesome. And I was like, don't be like me. Like I'm doing everything I can to make sure you don't end up like me, which is awful. It's an awful way of thinking about myself. Now I'm like, I see my kids are so amazing and like, oh my God, I can see like you're thinking the same way as me. So if I think I'm awful, I'm pretty much saying that you're awful because you're like me. And kids, they look up to us. Oh, I want to be just like my mommy. So if I think I'm awful, I'm making my kids feel awful just because I think I'm awful, right? They're so proud of being like us. So that is why also I'm working hard on like, I gotta love myself because if my kids see themselves as me, I need to be to my top of like feeling proud of who I am so that they can feel proud of who they are. I have another comment. Somebody had said, wow, that was a lot. And I was like, yeah, no shit, that was a lot. It's a lot to read. That's like a 20-second video. That went over like four years, like actually 2 years. That was a lot, yes. But for me, it was like to acknowledge, that was a lot, right? Because when I go one bit at a time, it was a little bit at a time of shittiness, if I can say it that way. But it's like, when I go it all together, that was a shitload. That was a shitload of shitty thing. And yes, and because I'm like, oh well, it's just normal. Like I'm just strong, I can do it. Like that was just like whatever, right? But I'm like, oh my God, that was a lot. Not everybody gets to go through all that much stuff going on at the same time. And I know I have to see how brave and courageous I was and how like I got through that. Because for me, I'm like, oh, I'm just normal that I do awesome things, like, right? I'm just like overachieving. So for me, I couldn't celebrate myself for every step I've done. But now I can say, oh my God, yes, that was a lot. And man, I went through all of that and I'm out. Wow, right? And just about the wow, there's somebody else who had said, just wow, I don't know what to say. And 2-3 weeks ago, when I read that comment, again, everything is about how you speak to yourself, right? At that time, I was in the vibration of being pissed off, and I was like reading it of like, just wow, I don't know what to say, right? Kind of in a disgusting way. And I got triggered. I'm like, well, you know what? You don't have to say anything, right? And that's one thing I want to say, right? Thank you, Shane. Just by the way, I'm live on TikTok, so I just got a gift from Shane. So I said thank you. But it's like, I don't know what to say. If you don't know what to say, you don't have to say anything. You don't even have to write a comment, right? If you don't know what to say, you can just shut up or say, I see you. All right. But then today, when I was rereading it, because I was going through my post, I'm like, oh, what did people say that I want to mention? And it's like, the way I read it today was with love and compassion, like, just wow. I don't know what to say, right? Instead of singing in a criticizing way, I saw it in a loving, compassionate way. So maybe there's some parts in your life we can say, this person said this, but that time I understood it that way. But now as you're loving yourself, today I can sit with this perspective, right? Because oftentimes, what I say and what I mean is two things, but how you perceive what I say is one thing as well. So that is where communication gets messed up. Depends on the energy that you were in when you received the comment. Could have been like just wow, right? I mean, just wow, I don't know what to say. It's super neutral. Now do you see it as wow, this is awful, like just wow, how awful it is. I don't know what to say, right? Or just wow, I don't know what to say. This is the proof that everything can be seen on both ways, on both perspective. But you're the one who gets to decide how it's going to be seen. So now when people say comments like, yeah, I'm not even going to ask you if it was a compliment. I will take it as a compliment. Whatever, right? You're the one, if you get to interpret something, interpret it in a way that's going to be beneficial to you. Like really. Somebody said, I would never trust her to be my life coach. Now you'd be like, well, she's a life coach. She wants me to work with her. Why is she telling me that people said I would never trust her to be your life coach? Actually, if you don't trust me, I don't want to work with you. Point. That's it. If you do not trust me as a life coach, do not even call me. I do not want to see you. I do not want to talk to you. I do not want to help you, because you will not be in the energy of receiving the messages that source asks for you. You will be doubting me the entire time, and then you're gonna be like, yeah, I paid for nothing. And then you're gonna call me names and just like, you're not gonna ruin my reputation or anything. But yeah, no. And that goes with anyone. If you don't trust them, don't go with them. Point. Because then the universe will bring you more evidence as to why you should not have trusted them, right? So yeah, no, please. And I'm like, that's not even, I don't even take it as a hater comment. You have the right to work with whoever you feel comfortable, right? I did say that as well. And why am I bringing this here with you guys? Because you guys might not always all be on TikTok. You might not all watch my videos. And so by bringing this here, I'm helping you make good choice. And if you do want to work with someone, how to trust yourself that you're working with the right person. Do you trust them? Do you trust yourself with them? That's the main important thing. And are they telling you that they're the only one who has a solution for you? Because that's bullshit. That is bullshit. Your inner being is the one with the best answer. Now, what I do is I help you listen to your inner being. I'm not the authority. I can say I'm the authority, yes, but because I just have more knowledge and I'm more attuned to my inner being. But your authority is your inner being. Your intuition is better than anything. So again, if you don't trust someone, don't. It is not even a bad, like, it's not even like something bad to tell me. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want to work with you anyway. Please go to the next coach, because yeah, there are people who want to work with me. There are people who love what I'm saying, and leave them the space for them, right? Some people are actually telling me, right, keep it to yourself and make sound like the new guy is better, disrespectful. Because I was saying how I met the guy, and actually one person said, I would have left out the part where you said, I felt feelings I've never felt with my husband. Why say that? Rip your husband. Well, why am I sharing these things on TikTok? Why am I saying, oh, the next guy I met, I felt more loved and I felt different with my husband? Because it was my truth, right? It was my truth at one point. So people don't want to hear my grieving story because it makes them uncomfortable. It makes them see that, if I die, my husband will find someone better than me. And so, yeah, that's the point. If you die, I do want to look at what was good, what was bad in my relationship, what needed improvement, and get someone better. That just makes sense, right? What you want me to find someone that's less better than my husband? He was not God. Like, I'm sorry, he was not God. And if it hurts people when I say this, that's on them, not on me. I deserve someone. I'm a better person because I've done the healing. So obviously, if I'm a better person and I can actually say my needs more, I will attract someone who can help me feel those needs more, which I was not doing with my husband, right? So of course I'm going to live new emotion. If I was numbing my own emotion and what I wanted, and now I'm not, so of course I'm going to live emotion that I've never lived with my new person, because I am a new person, and it just makes sense. And so if people make you feel ashamed for saying those things out loud, they're the one who are disrespecting you in your journey, right? The person's like, disrespectful. No, what's disrespectful is you not minding your business, is you telling me I should find less, is you telling me that I should not be saying out loud how I feel because there's some shame or something around it, right? If it is good, of course you're going to find better because your life is getting better and better. You are becoming a better and better person. You know what you deserve. You know what you want more. It just makes sense that you get better. And don't be ashamed of showing it off to show people that they can get better. Because otherwise it's just telling people, yeah, I'm not going to get better because I don't want my partner to know they can get better, right? It makes people feel insecure if they die, what's going to happen, right? They want to feel like I'm the best. Well, you can be the best and still work on yourself and still be the best. But just know if you die, you are not irreplaceable. We all want to be replaceable, but no, as we grow, we do get to find love again because we're attracting different people. We're matched to us. And one more thing that somebody had said is honor him by living your life. You don't have to cater to him forever. And that was a really good comment. Like there are people who are giving me amazing comments. And I felt that because like, yeah, just yesterday was his birthday. On Monday was his birthday. He would have been 38. And I was debating if I should go at his graveyard and just celebrate there, which is 45 minutes away, one direction. And I'm like, I don't want to go. I was gonna go, but one of my daughters was like, yeah, no. So instead, what we did, we went at the Science Museum. We went and had fun. And this is honoring him. He would not want me to go and cry and wallow at his grave. He would want me to take the girls out and go and have fun. And actually, it just happened that he loves science. I'm like, oh, your daddy loves science, right? It was just, kind of happened. But honoring the dead does not mean just catering to them all the time and just talking about them all the time. It means living your life because that's what they want for us, right? I would not want my kids to just be at home and cry for me all the time. I would want them to rebuild their life and have so much fun. Exactly. I can't be there, but you better make up for it. Go have fun. Go live your life. That was the gift of his passing, right? Anyway, so those are some things that I shared that I got that I want to share with you guys. And I'm going to take an extra minute because it's not live. I get to take an extra minute. One more person had said, what I think is so funny is when someone has done something so terrible, which was me getting arrested, they'll find spirituality because it goes on about forgiveness. And just a quick note on forgiveness. You get to forgive yourself. If people don't forgive you, that's on them. Yeah, spirituality was not about, like, as if it's bad. You've done something terrible. Okay, if you feel terrible, yeah, you need to find forgiveness in yourself. If you don't, you're going to spend the rest of your life regretting and feeling bad. That's not what I wish on people. If you've done something terrible, the goal is that you heal and not repeat it and actually find forgiveness and self-love. Otherwise, you're going to be miserable for the rest of your life. Gosh, right? As if it's a bad comment. Yeah, if I could have done something like remotely out of line and still feel guilty about it. Oh no, I didn't respond to the guy and I feel so terrible. For me, it's so terrible that I didn't reply, right? But then am I going to beat myself up? If I beat myself up for little things like this, I need to find forgiveness because this is trivial. This is what's part of growth. It's good that we grow. You have to forgive yourself. If you don't, nobody else will, right? We want people to come and say, oh, no, I'm sorry about this, but you have to feel sorry for yourself first. Like, not sorry, but like forgive. And the point is to understand what happened, where you came from, why you did this, and then give yourself the love you were looking for. Because if you do something terrible, you were looking for something. You were looking for power, love, to be loved, right? And if spirituality is one way, then it's one way. You can, if you're able to forgive yourself like this, then great. And spirituality is it's not about forgiveness. It's about self-love. For me, spirituality is the relationship with myself. That's how I describe it, right? Anyway, but why would someone not forgive themselves? That to me that's a stupid thing, right? Why would you not forgive yourself? You're human. You're here to learn and discover the world. And so, yeah, if you do something terrible, you got to find within yourself to forgive yourself, because it's easy to forgive everyone else. That is easy. But you can't forgive them unless you've forgiven yourself, because they're just a mirror of you. So anyway, I wanted to share that because that was another one I'd written, so I don't forget about it next time. But yes, so on this again, I went a little 5 minutes over the 30 minutes, but Thank you for listening. I am Marie-Ève Mongrain. You can find me on TikTok and Instagram at Mary Mongrain. Marie Mongrain 90. So MARIEMONGRAIN 90. I'm a mindset and self-love life coach. And if you want to work with me, go on my website, marievmongrain.com. That's MARIEVEMONGRAIN.com. You can book your first session with me and we can discuss if you want to have a package or if we just do by session. I'm good with that because sometimes you just need a little boost to keep going and change it. One session will transform you a lot. If you want more transformation, that's great. So I'm looking forward to talking with you more and to hearing from you. Don't forget, you can find me on YouTube, on my website, and on different podcasts, Apple Podcasts. There's iHeartRadio, Stitcher. These are I don't remember all the names, but there's a bunch of them. So feel free to message me, and if you want to send me your comments, I would love to hear from you. And I will see you soon. Ciao. Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.